Hello, this is Elle Honick, and this is my research brief. For my research brief, I chose to do it on Virginia's sex education policy. Firstly, I decided to look at how Virginia compares nationally. It should be noted that the U.S. has the highest national rate of teen pregnancy in any developed nation. The national average is 17.4 births out of every 1,000 are to women between the age of 15 and 19. In comparison, 14.3 women between the ages of 15 and 19 give birth in Virginia every year. My thesis and objectives. My thesis is this: Virginia lacks a state-standardized sexual education program. Why and what are the effects? To first get an understanding of the different sex ed programs, it is important to define them. Abstinence-only programs emphasize on abstinence or waiting until marriage to engage in sexual behavior. This type rarely includes talk of contraceptives, birth control, and sexually transmitted diseases. Comprehensive sex education uses age-appropriate topics and covers a broad spectrum, including sexually transmitted diseases, safe sex, contraceptives, masturbation, body image, and more. It should be noted that it has been proven abstinence-only education is not an effective method of combating teen pregnancy and STI cases. In order to understand the different policies, it is important to talk about the Virginia Department of Education. The Virginia Department of Education says that school divisions were permitted to use state-approved standards of learning objectives or develop their own learner objectives. There are required topics that all sexual education classes must teach, but they do not include STIs and pregnancy contraceptives. Parents must also have the option to excuse their children from the program before it begins. I did a personal research where I put out a small survey, and while I didn't get as many participants as I was hoping for, it was enough to show the differences throughout the state. Note that all responses were from people who have gone through K through 12 schools in Virginia. Firstly, what grade was sex ed started at different schools? Most people said 6th through 8th, which was also my personal experience. Some said in 9th, which is typically the beginning of high school. Others said 5th. Then, when asking what type of sex education they were exposed to, most people said comprehensive, which does include topics such as STIs and pregnancy. However, 33% said that they obtained an abstinence-only sex education program. It also should be noted that the other category consists of a person from private school. Private schools are not government funded and therefore do not have to follow the Virginia Board of Education's standards and requirements. Along with the quantitative research, I put at the end of this survey an option for people to comment and see if there was anything notable about their sex education experience. Several people said that some topics were introduced by splitting up girls and boys into different rooms and teaching them individually. One person said that they learned about LGBTQ topics in middle school. This is not the case for most places. Many people said that they were very unsatisfied or even had to teach themselves. One person said specifically that their experience was depressingly insufficient, covered barely anything, and was taught by a gym teacher. From my research and the survey, I was able to draw several conclusions. 1. There are still school districts in Virginia teaching abstinence-only sex education. 2. There is requirements of what is supposed to be taught. However, there is no testing to ensure that students are actually learning this. The majority of people in my study were very dissatisfied with the quality of their sex education programs and felt they had failed to do its intended purpose. While both in Virginia and nationally the numbers of teen pregnancy is on the decline, it still has a long way to go. The best way to keep people safe is to educate them.